So welcome to Angular Nation Showcase. My name is Connie. I'm a Angular GDE based in Hong Kong. So I'm going to do the opening keynote tonight. Um, so my agenda is why does Angular intimidate beginners? New features to improve Angular performance, new logo and documentation, and the awesome communities in Angular. So the learning curve of Angular is not exactly low. Like before, we had, we have ng module that requires people to declare and export components before they can be used in application. And then RxJS requires people to understand observable, subject, and subscription, and then to know ng, if, and async pipe in order to resolve observable in the HTML template. And the Anchor.io site contains too much information. Tour of Heroes tutorial is there, and API classes are there, and fundamental concept are also on that site. So so I think these are the some of the reasons that make the framework very intimidating. But fortunately, Angular team has heard our feedback to make the framework easy to build applications. So, like some new improvements in Angular that I consider important are standalone components, pipe, and directives, signals to observable RxJS interop, the new control flow in 17, and the biggest feature in Angular 17 that is a deferrable view. So standalone component makes ng module optional. That means less boilerplate, and less code means a smaller main bundle. And a component is standalone when we put a standalone colon true inside component decorator, and then the standalone components can be imported into other component directly. So in this example, the app component is a standalone component, right? And then it imports two other standalone components, user component and tech stack component. So the page is rendered on the right-hand side. So when we look into user component, it imports hello pipe, standalone pipe, and user directive, standalone directive. So the hello pipe format text and the user directive modify the font style of the paragraph elements. Okay, signal. So RxJS is very intimidating to Angular developer of any level because it requires people to learn other things such as observable, subscription, and async pipe. Fortunately, there is signal in Angular 16 that simplifies reactivity. So what is signal? So Angular signal tracks reactivity through an application. It can store primitive value or complex object. So unlike RxJS that has many operators, the APIs of signal are very simple. It has like three methods: um, set, update, and effect to change the state of the signal. Well, one more question from my Angular developer that has some experience with HTTP request. HTTP request still returns observable. So can we have a signal? Well, the answer is yes, thanks to the effort of our Angular team. So there's a package called RxJS interop that has two functions: to signal and to observable. So to signal convert observable to signal, and to observable does the opposite. So people can make a GET request to receive an observable and pass that observable to signal to get the signal back. So that's the answer to the previous question. So new control flow, also known as syntax. So what if we can make Angular even better with the new control flow in 17? So in Angular 17, it introduced new control flow that is similar to the control flow in Svelte. It can do if, else if, and else, and F4 and empty can iterate an array of items, and switch case and default. So the new control flow is cool because it's more intuitive than structured directives. These constructs mimic JavaScript syntax, so it's like writing JavaScript code in a HTML template, and then the new control flow is built in. Therefore, we don't have to import at if, as else if, and the other constructs in the components. Finally, like F4 enforces track by. That can be a performance gain when the list is long. So on the left side is an example of ng if, ng else, and ng template. And I rewrote the example using at if and at else in 17. So the code is like writing JavaScript code inside the div element. So the left hand side is the left hand side uses ng4 to iterate an array of products using ng4. I rewrote the same example using F4 and at empty in 17. So this is an example of a switch case. So try to match the name input to one of the cases to display a paragraph element. And the default case is executed when none of the cases matches. So this is the biggest feature in 17. Defer means not now but later. So but how late? So the component is defer until it's triggered. So if the component is big and then you know that that component is not used by everyone, it can be deferred until it is triggered. Then the main bundle can be made even like smaller. At defer is required, but the other three, at loading, at placeholder, and at error, are optional. So in this example, I defer the large component until the button is clicked to set its load to true. So when large component is not rendered, the placeholder block display a placeholder in its place. So when large component is being loaded, at loading display loading. When error occurs in this defer example, at error display an error message. And finally, the large component is fully loaded and displayed on browser. So performance. Angular 17 is much faster than Angular 16 because at syntax uses a different div algorithm than the structured directives. And in I think since 16, Angular uses Vite for dev server and ESBuild for bundling. Therefore, the performance of 17 is faster than like prior versions. So new logo and documentation. The logo is not red. Oh my God. The logo is not red anymore. So it's like saying goodbye to the good old AngularJS day that happened 10 years ago. And the new documentation site is angular.dev. It is in beta status currently, but people can go there to check out the documentation, the references, and use the interactive tutorial to build their first application in the playground. The user interface is really, really nice, so you should go and visit when you have time. Communities. Well, Angular team is very open and transparent. Like all the RCs are in GitHub, and GDE can make feedback to them before the RC are closed. And the team members like always listen to suggestions and answer inquiries and questions. Okay, Angular Nation is really a good place to learn Angular. I mean, this is a place where Bonnie schedule event with Angular team in the best of her abilities, and we can attend the event to ask questions directly to the team members. If you want to be a GDE, you can go ask Bonnie for advice, support, and mentorship when she's not sleeping or busy. Once a week, we have an hour to talk about enterprise architecture, and we learn things from each other. Like, to tell you a secret, I forgot Angular route resolver until Dylan and Pavel talk about it 2 weeks ago. So it is good to learn from everyone, like for 1 hour each week. So these are some of the awesome communities in Angular. So in conclusion, like there are many reasons to use Angular in 2024. Like, people are very like privileged. Like 2024 is a much better time to learn Angular than 2014 when Angular 2 or 4 came out. So thank you very much for listening to my opening keynote. Yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, Connie. That was awesome. Okay, can I get everybody to come off mute for me and help me thank Connie for that awesome presentation?
Bravo,
Thank you,
Connie.
Connie.
Great job.
Thank you,
Connie.
Connie.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you. Gracias. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, gracias.
Thank you, Connie.
Yeah, 谢谢。